rhyme on purpose.
Oh, Big Bucket of Chicken, episode 11, Kev. We're getting into the double digits. Oh, this table just moved. That scared me. We're getting into the double digits now.
I just want to say that Lou just rhymed there. He was like, "Oh, we'll get it up and we'll start it up."
Get it up and start it up. Kev, you're breaking the fourth wall. No one heard me. Did I say that?
I just want to let people know out there that happened, and it's like behind the scenes bullshit, but you need to know.
These are the same beers from last week. I didn't drink them, and I saved them for this episode.
See, that's the thing. That's where we're different now, you know, because like 5-10 years ago, like that wouldn't have been a story.
What, me saving the two beers?
Yeah, like, oh, we got a couple still left. Like, that's a good thing.
Well, it's not about a good thing. I got them home. Well, I did I got my shit to do on Fridays. I got to go to therapy and tell them about my problems and stuff. And then I had dinner. And then by then it was like warm. And I just like kind of put them down and didn't pick them up again until this morning. I put it in the fridge to make sure they were nice and cold for us.
Yeah, when that happens, I always put the beer in the freezer and I always fucking forget. It always just like, I pop open the freezer and it's like...
Well, last week when we recorded, we were talking about a lot of different things, and then we ended up talking a lot about old stories about us being drunk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And actually, that's the feedback I got from most of the people who I talked to about the episode, was that was really funny because, one, they're true, and if those of people who do know us know that they're definitely true. From what we remember, they are skewed. Like even like the past couple of days, I was texting you like, "Hey, Kev, what stories?" It's like I don't remember. It's like I remember pieces of them.
No, I remember them. I just don't know like if I want to like go back there because it's just like a dark place.
Is it a dark place?
No, it's really not. It's kind of funny.
No, it's hysterical.
I just feel like people are looking and going, "Oh, really? That's what you used to be like?"
Well, now
fuck you.
You have a wife and kids.
I know.
So I mean, I guess maybe for you it's a little worse, but I'm wearing sweatpants, so I don't.
And you had a plaid shirt on. You came in like Mick Foley's brother.
Yeah,
I
had this plaid shirt on, and
bang bang.
The classic shirt's back. I remember to.
You
wear
washed it too?
Well, it was washed last week. It was in the dryer when I was when we were doing the episode. It was I do my laundry on Friday, and if I don't do it early enough, everything gets all fucked up, and I had to wear the Will Ferrell shirt. But I was thinking about a couple things, but before I just want to make a quick little plug. This is a book two of my friends have published. It's like arts. There's like paintings and poetry and stuff like that. It's called Blurred and Zine. It's their second edition. I'm in it, Kev. I'm in this book.
Which is the only reason I care about it.
Oh, fuck you, piece. You're the worst kind of person.
I'm sure there's some. Really
I'm gonna actually probably do something on my personal channel, like read a lot of this stuff. But I just want to give a plug to my friends, Kara and Jason. They published this book. They took submissions from a lot of the local artists here on Long Island, and I got in there, and a lot of other great artists are in there. And it's Blurred and Press on Instagram. I'm going to put all their info in the on the description of the YouTube video. It's $5, and this book is like awesome. The first one they did was like real like DUI. It was like kind of like they got like construction paper and printed it and like stapled it. But this is like it was from like Lulu Press, so like it really is like a real hardcover book, softcover book. But I just want to give a shout out to Blurred and Press, Blurred and Zine, and buy it. It's $5. I'm going to get the information on there. You can just buy it yourself and do it and support local artists and stuff like that.
So, Lou, a lot of the feedback I got from the show last week was about how you believe that women take giant loud shits in the bathroom.
I don't believe it. I heard a female comedian tell the story of how she took a loud.
No. I was saying people were telling me about how excited they were to hear you say that.
Oh, that it's a real thing, and that.
Well, I don't know. I'm saying that they think that you think that, but it could be true or it could not be true.
Well, I think everyone takes loud, big shits. Not always. I mean, most of my shits are not loud or big. They're all huge, but like they're not loud. But every once in a while, you eat like a lot of hot sauce, and it just comes out hot sauce. You know what I mean? It's noisy. It's gas.
A lot of hot sauce when you're drunk, there, Lou.
Well, see, all right. Last night, not drunk, but I had like an adult moment. I was coming back I went to an open mic last night, coming all the way back, and I'm about to get home. It's like 12:45.
Okay.
And there's that moment of like I could just go to Taco Bell. And even though, like I said, I don't eat meat, they have like the bean crunch wrap supreme, which is like cheese and beans and I didn't do it though because
it's still Taco Bell.
Well, it's not. I don't care about Taco Bell. Like I just don't want to. You don't want to eat like all that cheese and bread and fat and crap, and then go to bed. Like I just don't want to do that because talking about like we're like reminiscent about being drunk. It's like those were dark times. They really weren't, but we are different people. Like in your 20s, you can just like drink 500 beers, eat a whole pizza. And go to bed and wake up next morning like, let's get some eggs in me and go do stuff.
See, I never was like that though. Like
I always
was like fucked the next day. Like I was done.
You have,
but that's the thing is like that. I was okay with that. Like I was, I
we're
enjoyed
all
that.
okay with it.
As long as I didn't have things to do. Like,
Well, now you
I would
can't.
always like make sure I didn't have things to do.
Yeah, and if you
Like, that was
did,
the whole thing. If I did, like, I'm a total piece of shit for.
but
doing
you
it.
did blow off a lot of like. There was those days like you called into work like at 12 o'clock. Like, yeah, I was supposed to be here at 9. I'm coming in now. It's like, you know what? Maybe.
Yeah, but
not.
that was like 2006.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's recently. I'm just saying there were those days. Well, you were you habitually would wake up at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was like,
And I
even
felt,
for me, I was like,
felt
that's a lot.
nothing about it.
I know.
I felt absolutely nothing. I felt like it was almost like that. Like almost it was like the spring had sprung. Even though no matter what day or month it was, I really took that long like.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Let's get Chinese food.
Yeah, that's
that's
kind of
what-
how it is. Or what I do is I just do it all over again. I'm like, oh, time to go back out, and then I just, take an hour to shower and get ready. And
But those were the best times.
go back out.
Those were the best times. I mean, I even to this day, if I get really shit faced and I go to bed at 4 a.m, 8 o'clock I'm up and I'm just up. I just wake up and that's it. Like,
Yeah, the one thing I had a real issue with was once I get to a certain level of drunk, I thought everywhere was the bathroom. Like it was almost like a drunk sleepwalking thing. I don't know if it's drunk walking is an official term, but that's kind of what it was.
It's drunk walking.
There's a couple of almost disastrous moments where people realized what I was trying to do and led me into the right direction. And when I say led me into the right direction, they did not go, the bathroom's over there, Kevin. They just pushed me out of their room, and I probably just like pissed there instead of their room.
Well, all right. So that's what I really wanted to do today. I really do want to because I've been thinking all week of like fun things, and I'm trying to like really decipher between what's funny just for like us if we were there, or what's can be funny for other people. Because a lot of them are just like no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like, remember that time I thought those girls liked me, but they totally didn't like me, and then I stayed at the bar till 4 a.m. and then came home by myself. That wasn't depressing. That's a good story.
Yeah, I don't want that story. Well, I also want to say that Lou had a nickname when we'd be drinking and smoking. We call him Figment.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
He would try to make us believe that he actually wasn't there. And I tell you what, we were fucked up enough to realize, like, I don't know, this guy might not be with us.
Well, our other friend, other Lou, coined that. Hey, man, it's Figment.
Yeah.
Figment of our imagination or whatever. And like we just like did it because we would just be high a lot. We smoked a lot of pot in college. After college, I really trickled off, and then now I have the last like a decade I haven't really smoked pot. So
yeah, you know what's funny about that time period? This is like the first couple years of college. We had roommates that came and went. Like we were in like kind of a suite type of housing in the college, and sometimes we'd get new roommates. And we got this one guy. I think his name was Coy. And they
were always foreigners. They were always like exchange students that got plopped in our room because we had one extra bed.
Yeah, he would show up only when we were doing like the most.
Oh my
fucked up
god,
things.
that guy!
So like, if we were breaking out like the drugs and like the fucking alcohol, like all of a sudden the door would slide open, like, hey, what's going on over here? Like, like, oh, Coy, you haven't been here for 2 weeks. What happened, man? Where the fuck did you go? You in class? Like, we really thought he was like a fucking undercover cop, like,
or
living with us. It really was like 21 Jump Street with Coy.
Or there was a little bit of like maybe he only shows up when we're like 8 hours deep into drinking and smoking drugs, that he may not actually exist, and we just imagine him. Because that year, all right, so let's talk about that for a second. So that year, we were all in a suite, 4 rooms, 8 people.
Yeah.
I was in the first room, A, right by the front door.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a roommate. I didn't have anyone in the bed with me, which was amazing. I just like put my shit on the bed. And then they assigned him to my room.
Yeah.
And that was what happened. He kind of came in one day and was like, yeah, I'm living here. Left nothing, no clothing items, no anything. And then would just show up once every 18 days, and like kind of like the Groundhog Day, like the Groundhog of drunken like pot smoking weedery or whatever you want to call it. But there was a couple times that he did that where we're all sitting around smoking, like I hope no one comes in the room, and then the door would open and he'd just be like, sit down, pass the blunt to him, like, what's up? And then just we didn't see him again for like 2 weeks. But then there was one time where I kind of got mad about this. I mean, we were like pieces of shit, but I woke up one morning,
that's for sure,
real early, like maybe like 6:45 in the morning. The sun was like barely up, and I sit up in my bed and I realized there were definitely like multiple people in this like the little bedroom that you have. It's like the main. You have a living room and a bathroom, but the 4 little tiny they're like half the size of this room. And I wake up and the room's like kind of foggy because they had definitely smoked a blunt. I'm like, were people in here? Was someone sitting on the bed that I'm sleeping in? The chairs were all arranged in a way that there was 2 chairs, like maybe 2 or 3 people were in there. So I started investigating. Like, maybe I'm just, because I'm drunk still and probably a little high. So I opened the fridge and my gallon jug of water, which I didn't open, was open and water was taken. I was like, all right, well, someone drank some water. Okay, that's not too bad. I go to take my cup off the top of the fridge, which is a red Solo cup that I just like saved until it fell apart. And in the cup is all the blunt wrappings, all of the stuff that you make a blunt with. And I realized like these motherfuckers came in, opened the door. I'm sleeping in the bed, sat on the foot of the bed. 2 guys sat there, rolled a blunt, took some of my water and whatever else they took, smoked a blunt, and then just left before the sun came up. Like fucking weed vampires or some shit. Like, so yeah, that was
Do you think though, like the fact that you didn't even see them though, like really made you scared that like he was just trying to do that, like to make it seem like he was into that because he was really trying to bust us like at the end of the school year? Because that's what I fucking
There was a lot of that too.
Because that guy was not a student.
Yeah, he looked like he was
Coy
38.
was 38 years
Yeah,
old.
he looked like an old man.
He had been on the force for 14 years. I don't want to fucking hear anything else about it. We had an undercover cop as a roommate, and we didn't even fucking know it. He realized we were just assholes that weren't really doing much. There was no big operation like fucking, we weren't doing like El Padrone shit. Like we weren't doing anything like that. And then he just kind of went to the next place.
That's probably true too. That's a possibility.
That's what I think.
Maybe he said, "Hey, fellow college students, what are you guys doing? Smoking the weed? Smoking the pots?"
But that's the thing, is that the only time you'd see him is when shit would go down. It was never like on a Tuesday when oh, I really got to write this paper. Oh, hey, Coy, what's up?
Yeah.
Would you like to borrow some Doritos? Like, it was never like that. It was always like a fucking round table of pot and booze and whatever.
Yeah.
And
I guess
it was,
we weren't a big catch. They were trying to get the kids selling the weed.
That's right. They were
just
trying
like,
to get...
We're gonna watch Family Guy and maybe the Chappelle Show, and it's like you guys are too stupid to bust. Like fuck.
He was the type of guy though. I feel like before he'd shoot you, he'd do like a roll for no reason. You know what I mean? Like in the cop shows, like he just like do a roll, like freeze, motherfucker. Like I always thought he would be like that.
He was like let's describe him a little bit. So he was like a 4'11", like Dominican or maybe light skinned black kid with like again facial hair, like more than like a 17 or 18 or 19-year-old. The big like goose down like bubble jacket, like white, like 7 times his size. It's just like too big. Like
we had a term for him too. It's
like an Averex plus.
We were convinced again that he's either a cop or not really existing.
Yeah.
So we used to say Coy is a nuke.
Coy
I don't know what it meant, but it just meant like, yeah, he lives here, I guess. But where the fuck is his clothes? He doesn't even have sheets, for fuck's sake.
He didn't drop anything off.
He
came
sleeps
in one day,
on a dirty mattress.
but he didn't sleep in that bed ever.
That one time
Well,
when you were sleeping.
They slept on me.
You think
I
they
guess.
drugged you?
I mean, something happened. I might have been touched. But so in college, and you brought this up already, is that you did have a bad habit. And how is it? It definitely doesn't happen as much.
No,
anymore.
it doesn't happen at all, actually, which is great because it was bad for a while.
It was terrible. So let's run through a couple of them because they're quick. They're not like long stories. They're just like night of drinking, especially when Devil Springs would get passed around, which is like 170 proof vodka. That was just like the pain go bye juice. And we'd all pass out wherever we passed out, like literally on the couch, wherever. And then all of a sudden, around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, everyone's still sleeping because we've all had a rough night. And you just have this feeling in the air of like someone's up and about, someone's walking around the suite, and then you just hear from another room, "Kevin, get the fuck out of here!" And you just hear like him run into the bathroom, and you realize like Kevin was peeing in someone's shoe or in their top drawer or whatever. And there was one occasion where I actually got to see your ass, which was fucking horrific. So we were already graduated from college. We're in our friend's dorm, same kind of thing, a suite. I'm on a couch, Kevin's in a bed, and someone who's not there for the weekend. And I hear this like, dun, 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 like someone's trying to break into the room. It's like, again, like 7 o'clock. The sun just had come up. So I look up. I'm on the couch. I look up at the door. And it's Kevin wearing just a shirt and socks, no pants, no underwear. And I see just his legs and his ass. And he's trying to open the door to get out of the room, but he's not turning the knob. He's just kind of going like in a sleeping, drunken stupor of like, I can't get the bed stall open. So I'm like, Kevin, what the fuck?
It's like when a zombie tries to open a door. Like
yeah, exactly.
He sees like flesh and he's like, He doesn't really quite know why.
He knows to
being
grab the doorknob,
Yeah.
but he can't grasp the mechanism itself. And then I say, Kev, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like I look up, I'm like, what is happening? Why are you naked? I thought you were peeing at the door.
And that was all it took to just snap me out of like, oh God, where's my pants?
No.
And I run back into the fucking door. And the doors, you don't see me for like 4 more hours.
Well, I know that's not true. What happened is you did run, but not to the bathroom. You like immediately snapped out of it, ran into the room where you were sleeping, put your pants on, and then went and took a piss. And I was like, hey, good job, buddy.
That's the proper procedure, I'm told.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I also remember too, what with that is that there was a time period where I would get stopped, and it was almost like a PSA, like thanks, like listen,
thanks for stopping me from
There was
destroying
one
your
time where
television.
you were laying on the couch, and I was about to piss on my front door, and you're like, Kevin, no! You're like, oh, what?
Oh yeah, in your old apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. And then there was a time, and this is like even farther back than that. This is like maybe like our sophomore, junior year in college. We all, again, it's a lot of drinking, a lot of marijuana smoking, and couldn't find you. Like, where's Kevin? Kevin's not in his bed. Kevin's not in the living room. So me and a couple of our roommates, we tracked you down, and we had our own bathroom with 2 stalls, 2 showers. So you had got yourself to the bathroom in your drunken blackout state. You got in the bathroom. You got in the stall. You closed the stall. You locked the stall. You got your pants down, and then you passed out. And you fell on the floor with your pants around your knees, and you still peed. So now your pants were just covered in piss. Toilet was clean. The seat was up and everything. You had everything ready.
Well, I remember
at the
that-
last minute, you just dropped.
The best thing I remember about that was waking up because we were doing. You know how the bottle of Devil's Spring says "Don't drink it straight."
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah, we all. Yeah.
I did that, and that's what that happened there. Something was going on. I was like, and there was mixers all around. I'm just like, no. I'm like, yeah.
Shots.
So I did that, and then I remember getting up and going, okay, almost made it. Like it's one of those things where you're just like, it's
Close enough.
So then I remember taking my pants and recovering piss. And at the time, I was in a blood feud with Mike Lopez, who you've seen on the show before.
Yeah, he was on a
Mike
couple episodes
Lopez
ago.
had a fucking alarm clock, and he would go home every weekend and lock his door, and no one would. This alarm clock was the most. I don't know what he set it to. He set it to fuck with us every 45 minutes, and it was the loudest goddamn alarm clock you've ever heard in your life. And we would freak out. We were like calling RAs, like we even met the RAs before. Like, hey, don't mind the pot and the booze. Come in here and do something about this shit. We're
door
fucking
open.
sick of it. So I remember actually getting sometimes them to unlock the door for us.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, nice. Turning it off and that kind of thing. But then the same cycle would fucking repeat.
Yeah.
You go home. The door would lock. I even tell him, like, Mike, make sure you take care of your alarm before you go home.
Unplug it. Throw it in the garbage.
Never fucking worked. So I was just like, that time I'm like, oh, yeah, I know where these pants are going. So I took my pants off, threw them on his bed, and said, deal with that shit. I'll see you in 2 days, Mike.
Kevin threw
and
his
fucking
pants
left.
away.
And that's the thing. It's like, and I remember that alarm clock, that shit got smashed. Because that was fucking,
We did smash it.
that was rough, man.
It was bad. It would go beep beep, but like super loud through the. You could hear it in the hallway, and you couldn't. The individual rooms were just like a lock. So if you didn't have the key,
It sounded like a nuclear reactor melting down. It's not like it sounded like that, but after hearing it the 6th time that day, that's what it kind of sounded like. Ridiculous.
yeah, it was. It would just break your concentration basically. You're like, so guys, we want. Oh my god, it's going off again. Like fuck, I'm gonna kill myself. Okay, can I just kill myself? Like it'll make an end. So I've been racking. So you obviously used to have a bad history of pissing in your apartment. You did it, college.
Well, not a bad history, I'd say. I mean, I still pissed. I was good at that. The first time
Where
it
you
ever happened
pissed
to me
was bad.
The first time it ever happened to me was my freshman year of college. I was at a party. It was off campus. It was actually at my friend's house in Connecticut.
Oh boy,
And it was a house party.
fucking.
And the first time it ever happened, it was behind his TV.
There you go.
So I pissed behind the TV. I was there for a significant period of time the next day, not knowing that I'd done that, watching football, enjoying myself.
Yeah.
I didn't learn that I did that till like 6 months later.
When they found it.
No, they found it. They just didn't tell me about it.
Ooh, so the next day they didn't tell you, like,
Yeah,
Kevin pissed.
that's how nice his mom was.
That's weird.
But I was like, but it really freaked me out. I'm like, Jesus, like, that's what I realized. I had like maybe good friends now.
You have like a double life.
Yeah.
Like, don't mention the fact that he peed on all our stuff.
But I recall though, like before that, I was like, you know where the bathroom is? And like they pointed, and I'm like, oh.
And just found
there it is. And I probably pictured that the crevice between the fucking back of the wall and the TV was a door. I probably like open it. Oh, it's like a.
I always wonder because there are people who are sober and have this problem. They wake up in the middle of the night and like pee in a potted plant or like a shoe.
Well, that's the Kevin promise. Never sober.
Never sober.
Never
Okay.
sober. So that's you don't have to worry about that shit.
So what else? Well,
I would like to point out too that you love to steal things when you're drunk. Like
I still have the urge to do it, but I don't do it anymore.
Yeah,
because
and
of
it wasn't
jail.
like anything like ridiculous. It wasn't like you
No.
were stealing a jewel or something. Like that. It wasn't like a high
It's
society.
like doing a shot
jewel
of Jameson.
heist.
We're gonna do the heist.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the Queen's Emerald.
All of a sudden, you fucking dress up like the Cookie Crook from the Cookie Crisp box.
Exactly.
No, but you would always steal things.
We finished watching the Titanic. I see that jewel, and all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, Lou," and I'm just out the door, like I'm getting that.
Well, it was always things that were on walls. So if we go to bars or we go to different places, we try to steal things. And then like my bathroom in my apartment would be adorned with like Lou's
The shrine, yeah.
wall of fun, and that was kind of cool. Like because there was always something fun, and we'd be stealing like
For some reason, and I really don't even understand why it was. I thought maybe. See, it's kind of a complicated thing for me because I thought I guess in my drunken state, I thought like if I can do this without anyone catching me, I'm like the slickest motherfucker on two legs. Or everyone saw it, but who's going to stop a 400-pound drunk person? Right.
Yeah.
So what I would do is go into a bathroom, and the little sign above the sink that says like employees must wash hands. It's like a laminated piece of paper like taped to the wall. I'm like, you're coming with me. Fold it up, put it in my pocket. Then I'll get more adventurous, like go to a real bar or a nice restaurant, and they have something like a plaque on the wall, like in a frame, and screws in it, and I would like unscrew it and like get it and like wrap it in my jacket. And
I remember that. There was
Yeah.
a few times you did that.
Yeah. It was,
And they were like cool shit. It was like really nice signs and stuff
yeah,
like that.
like Jameson signs from like Stout.
Yeah, it was
Sorry,
really,
Stout.
Well, don't say that. Yeah, they're
And,
coming for us now. I didn't want to say that.
The one thing I do remember,
We want that back now.
Yeah, we're gonna. Well, it was all in your bathroom, like all the kind of like the. Like, why is this here? Like, why do you guys do this? Like, here's all the evidence, guys. Like, just keep it in one place in your house, so like it's all connected.
Just to make it an open and shut case for the police.
Yeah, we don't want. I don't leave no mysteries. And the one thing I remember taking that was both the hardest thing to steal, and there was no reason to steal. It wasn't even. I don't even think it was cool, and it actually like got destroyed in the process of stealing it. Was so if you ever take the Long Island Railroad, they have those posters that are up like every like 4 feet on the train.
Yeah.
Some are behind plastic, some aren't. Some are just a piece of super sticky paper. It's like glued to the fucking train. Like it's not like something you can just like take off like it's a magnet or something. And I, over the course of the hour and a half from Manhattan to fucking Farmingdale,
Yeah, it was like Andy Dufresne and
like
Shawshank Redemption.
peeled the corner and then got it down and then peeled the other corner and had to stop. Someone was looking, but meanwhile behind me is like the picture of like the girl like come to CW Post, like just like wilting over my shoulder. I'm like, I don't know who did that. That's crazy. And then peel and slowly got it off the fucking wall and rolled it up. And of course we could never like unroll it because it's covered in glue. I was covered in glue. Just stupidity. I was a grown adult, and it was just like I would take things, and I still to this day, if I go out to a bar and like let's say Patchogue Village, which I'm not a huge fan of, but there's some cool bars there. There's a lot of douchebags, and like above the jukebox is like a neon light of like a flamingo with a palm tree. I'm like, that's coming home with me tonight. But who's gonna see me? Oh, everybody. So I can't do that because I'll justifiably be punched in the face.
Yeah, you at times though you really were like Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. Like you would really pass out anywhere.
Yeah.
and we had a term for that. Remember that?
Leucolepsy.
Because it really was like it was like there was no waking you back up.
Yeah, well, all right. So let's go into the depth of that because I had a couple of stories that involved because we touched upon it last week. We talked about how I passed out in Penn Station. I posted up that picture. You guys liked that picture of me in front of Kmart with the now hiring sign. That's a classic, Lou. I have no beard.
It's like perfectly placed.
Yeah, it's really just like
we didn't even plan that shit.
How unfortunate for me.
Comedy.
And then the transvestite stealing my rap. But then there's like a million stories of like we used to go to a bar, and for those local Long Island people know, it was called Effin' Groovin'. It was in Belmore. It was like a hipster bar, but it was really cool. They had a million beers, great spot, all by itself, like across from the train station. There was nothing else around it. That was our go-to pretty much every Thursday or like twice a week sometimes. But I would notoriously, the bar could be 11:15, and we had been drinking all day, and I would fall asleep at the bar, like sitting, just like. And the guy, literally, Drew was the bartender that we knew, and the other guy's name I think was like Matt or something like that. And he would like constantly wake me up, like, dude, you can't sleep at the bar. I'm like, all right, and then go back to sleep. And then I would get to the point where it's like, I don't want to get yelled at anymore because I would feel it. I would be on my 11th, back in the day, the vat of stomach fluid could never get filled. I was like, give me all the 12% beers you have and just drink like the world was ending. But then what happens is the side effect of me getting drunk is I just get exhausted. I just get like diabetes or something. So I would go outside. Now, if you guys remember Effin' Groove, and it's now called Effin' Beauty, and it's still there. You walk out the door, there's like a 4 or 5 foot concrete step, and then there's the sidewalk, and then there's Sunrise Highway. And I would just go outside the bar, smoke a cigarette, sit with my back against the bar, take my shoes off, put them next to me, put my back against the bar, put my feet out, fold my arms, and go to bed on the street.
But I think even the guy came out then was like, you can't do that either.
He would come out and go, what do? You can't sleep out here. I'm like, stop. Like, I remember in my drunken stage saying things like, like, what do you want me to do? I got nowhere else to go. We got no beds here. Like, that's what I would fucking do. Now, that's crazy, but Manhattan, a place where you should never sleep. They literally put spikes on the fire hydrants and the pipes so bums can't sleep on them. I would consistently get drunk at a bar, and I don't even know what it would be. And we touched upon it last week where something would come over me where it's like, I need to get out of here. Yeah. I think I really, at my core, I'm like an introvert. And something would happen where like I'd be really drunk, and there's a zillion people in a bar, and I just don't want to be there anymore. But I have no place to go. I'm 70 miles from home.
Right.
So I'm like, the only place I can go is everywhere. And I would just walk out of the bar, completely wasted. I mean, it's not like you can really get that lost in Manhattan. But I would just pick a direction and just go. But usually I wouldn't get too far because, in Manhattan, you'd hit a bodega or a pizza spot in about a block and a half. And that's where food. And normally people would find me, like my birthday, notorious, like about 8 years ago, my birthday. We were at which the bar's closed now, fucking Manitoba's, which is a great bar. I had like Kev's there, all my friends were there, my sisters came. It was like I think it was my 30th birthday party. It might have been, and all of a sudden it's like that thing that happens at every birthday party for Lou at every bar. Where's Lou? And then my sisters walk outside, and apparently I had walked across the street to the corner. There was a bodega. I got a coffee and a giant, like the bodega Rice Krispie treat. It's like the size of like a brick. And I went across the street, and I'm sitting in the doorway of an apartment building. Like, I'm blocking their door. I'm eating the Rice Krispie treat, and I fall asleep in the middle of my Rice Krispie treat. And my sister, I think, has a picture, or maybe it was on Snapchat, so it might not exist anymore, of me just, like, half leaned over, half eaten Rice Krispie treat. And it's not like it's, it wasn't like 4 a.m. It's like 11:30, 12:30, because everyone's buying me shots. I'm wasted. So there's just people, pedestrians, just walking past me like, oh, look at the poor homeless guy. I'm just like, Rice Krispie treats on my face.
Imagine if a fucking tranny stole your Rice Krispie treat.
Oh, I would have fought for a Rice Krispie treat.
You would have fought for that?
I ate that whole thing. And
when you say giant, like what size are we talking here?
So think the size of this book, but just 3-dimensional.
That's awesome.
It's like a fucking 4-inch by 8-inch by 6-inch block of marshmallow.
So family size for Lou.
And it's and again, bodega Rice Krispie treat. It's not in the packaging. It's in just cellophane with a fucking price tag sticked on it.
So if you had a tranny come up and like, he gave it to me.
Yeah, no, I would have.
You'd be like, fuck that.
Not my Rice Krispie treat, motherfucker.
You would have snatched that shit. And
Yeah.
ate it right there in front of them, right? You would have housed that shit.
Ate it and then threw it up on them.
Just to make sure, because you knew if you didn't, you'd fall back asleep and he'd try to steal it. She tried to steal it again.
Kev, come on. Be progressive. But I want to talk about one particular thing. We did talk about it a little bit because there's still a little. I mean, it's all right. So this is some time ago.
This is how you recall things when you're drunk.
Yeah. Well, again, these are all drunk stories, but this particular case, I wasn't as intoxicated as you maybe or whatever. So we're at the bar, Granny O'Shea's, for those who are trying to keep track of where we were going, and this is in Farmingdale, and this is before current Main Street in Farmingdale, the beautification of Farmingdale. This is when Farmingdale had like the Croxley's, and then the library, and then the Irishman, and then in between was just like,
Last Call.
It's just shitholes, garbage.
There was Granny O'Shea's, and then there was the Wild West Saloon.
Yeah, the Wild West Saloon, the meth saloon. And so we're at Granny O'Shea's, and there's 7 people. The 6 of us, the bartender, and then like some other person.
And there was a guy that played spoons.
Yeah.
There was this old man at the end of the bar. And I've heard people talk about him before. I've even heard like DJs talk about him. I guess he's famous. But
He's
yeah,
super famous.
He'll like all of a sudden just start playing like tunes with his spoons.
Yeah.
And then of course you will go to talk to him, you realize he's batshit insane. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
great.
He
It's a guy
can't.
with
He can't
spoons.
make us. He's an alcoholic. That's what he is.
So just to paint the picture of what Lou is saying, it's the home of the $2 tap for Bud Light.
Yeah.
So that's what we're getting.
Yeah.
And dirty mugs.
Definitely dirty
it's
mugs.
kind of a pool hall setting with darts.
Yeah.
Running the fuck down is all hell. Probably sawdust on the ground.
There was a lot of sawdust
Bathroom's
on the ground.
disgusting. AKA like where I want to be. I mean,
That's our spot.
That's the place I want to be. You know, now Farmingdale has nothing like that. Even last call.
The
was
meatball
going to-
place.
The meatball place, or the Dark Horse Tavern.
You guys want sausages?
Yeah.
Can I get alcohol here? Well, we have that too. We got
We
a
have
cranberry
picklebacks.
apple. Yeah.
You want some picklebacks?
Oh, fuck picklebacks. Anyway, continue that story. It's a
Well, that's
great
what I'm
story.
saying. Is it so that's the setting. It's not a it's a creep show.
Yeah.
That's what I like to say.
Our favorite
I mean,
kind
it's
of
not
place.
like you're picking up girls there either. You're going there to get house like destroyed on cheap ass beer and whatever else. I'm sure their liquor was about the same price wise. But all I know is that at the time we had done some recreational pot stuff and that kind of thing.
We were
before
smoking pot still a little bit.
And we got there, met up with some friends, played some darts, played some pool. All I know is very loose with my mug. You know, like leaving it. You know, you got to shoot a dart. You put your beer here. You know, you're playing pool terribly, and you put your beer over here. All I know is that as we go to leave there, Domino's is across the street.
Yeah, it is.
So
Wings Over Farmdale right next door too.
yeah, Windsor, it's a nice little area there. It's a nice little nook. It's even better now because the whites have what they have now. But anyways,
Gentrification.
so I just remember the first thing that happened was I walked out of there and I saw that Domino's was across the street, and we're like, I think our idea was like, wow, I don't think we ever went in and just ordered a pizza at Domino's, so let's fucking do that. So I heard that and I was like Scooby Doo. I was like, roar. So I like run across the street. I think like I definitely ran in front of a car because there's no like peripheral vision going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they're telling you, no, we're closed. I'm knocking on the window. Like I'm like, no. And by the way, this is in the winter.
Stella!
This is like early March. Tons of ice and snow on the ground. I'm sorry, my mouth getting dry. But anyway, so after banging on the door of a Domino's, where probably the cops should have been called,
Yeah.
because it was like really like you're opening this fucking door, and we're getting a 5 for $5 carryout deal. Right
He wants
now.
the cheesy breads. He won't go away.
So after that ended, and we're like, okay, fuck Domino's, let's walk home. I don't know why. By the way, we had money for cabs. Okay, my apartment's like a $5 cab ride.
and it was only like 2 miles.
All of us decided like, no, it's a brisk 23 degree evening.
It was freezing.
Let's walk home to Kevin's house.
that's the alcohol.
And save some money.
That's the alcohol.
That's again. If I was coherent, guess what? That shit never would have happened.
But we weren't that far from your house. The only reason
no,
it sucked.
but it was a decent walk back. It's a 20-minute walk back
True.
to the house.
But
it's like
drunk-
when we walk from the train station
when you're
back
drunk,
home.
that's like 2 minutes.
I know. Not for me. So once I should have been known already that the Domino's thing probably was a telltale sign that I was probably, first of all, I'm acting like a creature,
Yeah, you were
banging
fucked up.
on windows. So then we get into like a snowball fight with like random girls across the street.
That did happen.
Yeah, and like I don't know what came of it. I think someone
Hashtag me too.
I think someone got hit in the head with an ice ball or something. They probably still have like a mark from it. So then I
PTSD.
realized like, oh wait a minute, like I can't walk anymore, and I just like my equilibrium goes like
Equilibrium.
equilibrium. Yes. So I'm wobbly now. Like I'm
Way
like,
more
I
than
can't,
wobbly.
like I can't even like walk.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I zigzag and I just like keep falling, and it's on the ice. It
Yeah.
hurts badly. And then like it's just like it keeps happening where I
Yeah.
get up and I'm like, and you're like, and everybody's like, what the hell's wrong?
But do you
with
remember? Do you remember it happening?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so,
I do.
Because the theory you have kind of negates that.
No, but that's the thing. I don't know.
So the theory that Kevin has that while we were doing the darts and trying to go outside and smoke bowls, and he left his beer mug, someone dropped in some like whatever GHB or
Yeah.
whatever it is, like date rape drug.
Yeah, at
and
the
drugged
time,
your drink.
I know you don't realize now, but I'm a beautiful person back in 2009. Like I'm a nice catch. You know,
you're real zhuzhed up back
I'm
then.
the catch of the day. and some old like man probably was like, "Ooh, I like this guy." Probably.
Oh, I get a piece
I
of
mean,
that.
look, I mean, what's like who was the youngest person besides us in that goddamn bar?
I don't know, man.
46 at least.
Yeah, maybe.
There was nobody like young like that's. Oh, you like this bar too?
So my
No,
okay.
it's like guys playing pool that like really play pool, like that, like that's their income.
They're unemployed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're at either the OTB or Granny O'Shea's hustling pool.
So your theory is all right.
I was drugged.
We were getting fucked up and we were not paying attention. That's true. And these things I'm sure happen. But my whole theory is that when someone drugs you, you're like targeted. You know, they go like this girl's by herself,
I
this
don't
guy's
think
by
so.
herself. So I'm gonna
Not in a
drug
bar
her.
like that.
Yeah, but like just to give away drugs.
Okay,
like,
so
give it away,
here's
like,
what it is.
get you fucked up and then know you're with us and we're all gonna leave. Like,
Well, no, I think
maybe you
that-
almost died.
I think that it's like an experiment. So like they pick a person, a mark, okay? Let's just say I'm the mark. Well, first of all, they wait until the end of the night.
Yep.
Now, possibly these other bars around, there's some pretty girls over there. They might venture in and go, this place looks cool. I had a granny. Maybe they think that. They go in, they realize, oh my God, what a creep show. And then that's who they may target. But since that didn't happen that night,
Yeah.
and I was easily the sexiest person that had come in that place all night.
I'll accept it.
Yeah. I was the guy. I was their mark. I could have been. Let's just say you guys like, we're going to go. Let's just say this happened, okay?
Okay.
Which has happened before. I decide to stay behind and drink more. I've done this before.
It's true.
Let's just say that happened,
Yes.
okay? Let's just say that I said,
But it didn't happen.
no, I know, but let's just say it did. Who knows what would have happened?
I know
Okay?
what happened. Butthole,
That's what I mean.
old penis.
Which leads me, before I finish the story, we do have another live read. And it
But before,
ties-
okay, before we wrap up the story, so that's your theory, and I'm not saying it's wrong. We can't prove it.
By
at
the
this
way,
point.
the next day, face was mangled.
Yeah,
Like, my
so-
face was like, first of all, not only had I slipped on ice, on concrete, I fell into an entire bush.
No,
like
all right.
I literally,
You're
you know how
downplaying
you like
it.
fall in a bush and your legs are dangling
No,
and
no,
like
no.
someone
No,
like help
no.
me out. Like that's what happened.
The only thing that makes me think you might have been date raped, almost, and we're gonna somewhere
Let's not go there because I was just drugged.
you were.
There's
dru-
a 2-part process.
you were
that was
drugged
not,
with
okay.
the intention of date rape, possibly,
Or just this guy gets his kicks on seeing what happens.
but he didn't see what happened.
But maybe he did.
Maybe he followed
Who
us.
knows? We fucking walked home like scumbags.
That's true, but I want to go more about the falling. So we leave the bar. The Domino's things happened. I remember the snowball fight in the parking lot. I do remember that vaguely.
Yeah.
And
All I
then-
remember is you encouraging me, though. Do you remember what you said to me?
No.
I was on the floor, and I think this is the second time I'd hit the bushes face first. You had said, Kevin, you're a tree. Sprout.
But you weren't just okay. So that's why. Again, I'm not saying definitely no, but you may have been drugged. Or my other theory is that the weed was just like really strong.
No,
whoever got the
no.
weed from was like.
I'm a
laced it.
veteran. I know.
I know. But here's what was happening. So we're walking home now, and at a certain point, maybe 2 blocks away from the bar, you did stop walking, and you just were falling. So just imagine this: he's walking, he would take 2 or 3 steps, and the front of his body and the top of his body were like just he was face planting on the concrete.
Yeah.
To the point where what had to happen was
Never once.
I had to grab his shirt, and I had his shirt by the collar and the back of the shirt. So basically, it was like a human leash, and you were just kind of walking like this.
There's no way. And I know
if I
for
let
a
you
fact-
go, you just fell.
And I know for a fact too, I didn't like go crazy drinking that night.
No,
Like,
I
it
know,
wasn't
we
that bad.
didn't, we didn't.
I was drugged
All
that
right.
night.
I-
There's
you know
no
what?
doubt in my
You're
mind.
probably right. I
And
just don't
that
think
and that
that's
guy is still out there. Okay, even after Granny O'Shea's closed down, there's plenty of shady ass bars.
Yeah.
probably right in this area where he probably inhabits, trying to prey
So,
on sexy.
You were
people
drugged
like
with the
myself.
intention, though, of the possibility of him date raping you.
Or he was bored because he couldn't find anybody else. He just wanted to see this.
Were we with a girl? Did he maybe fuck up and
We were not with a girl.
like we were hanging out with
at the time, we were not
Kelly
hanging
and
out.
Jess at that point?
Your then girlfriend was there.
Shannon?
She was there.
I mentioned her name. I'm sorry.
That's not nice.
I'm going to court tomorrow.
That is not nice.
I don't care, but
She didn't do anything. But
maybe
that's the thing.
maybe that's what he
So
thought
the
was
next day,
happening.
my face butchered.
You look like you got beat up.
But
Big swollen eye.
in the true spirit of how I was back then, still went out to the bar that night.
Probably.
And there was pictures, I remember. I don't know why they snapped pictures of me. Because they were taking pictures of me pretending to punch me.
You look like you got beat up.
I did.
You look like you got beat the shit
And
up.
I did. And it was fucked up. And it was a rough month after
You
that.
look like this maybe giving you some PTSD a little bit, like it's bringing up,
There
bringing
was
up all these emotions.
I just remember it was a lot of bad things that happened right after that. And then it got
what are
and
those
then it got
things?
good.
Let's
We're
talk.
not talking about
Oh,
That's not funny.
That's not the big bucket of
That's
chicken
not funny.
promise.
But I want to tell you right now, like, I'm okay now.
Yeah,
and
you're
I
right.
will say right now,
You're
I know
all right.
you don't believe it. I was drugged.
I
That's
believe
it.
you. I'll
You've never seen me
I'll
once
submit.
like that before
never,
again.
never.
Ever
well,
again have you seen that?
Similar, but not
Not
like that.
like that.
Close, but not falling. Not the
Have
falling.
I ever fallen into a bush?
No, I'm saying not the falling.
You've known me for what?
But
20
in-
plus years
but
now?
incommunicado.
Well, how many bushes besides that have I fallen into?
The last one's name was Sarah. No, I'm just kidding. That's stupid. That's
All
dumb.
right. So read this nice and slow, like you are a
Coherent human
a
being?
registered physician.
All right. So the deal is Kevin writes these, and I don't get to see them until just this moment.
What are you talking about? This is a real live read.
Yeah. This
What
is,
the fuck you? Why are you revealing all? What is this? The magician show where you're like masks and you're showing how to cut a woman in half? Just fucking read it.
You're the weakest link.
It's a real live read.
It's super real.
Lies.
Are you sick and tired of every medication that you take giving you those nasty side effects? Do you ever wonder why your doctor prescribes you multiple medications and every single one of them causes anal bleeding? So let me ask you a quick question. If you're on 5 medications at once and they all cause anal bleeding, is that 5 times more anal bleeding than your average person? A bloody asshole is nothing to ignore. In fact, doctors have warned that excessive anal bleeding over the course of 6 months can cause irreparable damage to the lining of your asshole. Bleeding out of the asshole is not normal. It can cause plenty of stress in your everyday life. In fact, 1 out of every 5 Americans have to tell their spouse that they are bleeding uncontrollably from their asshole, and it has nothing to do with sleeping around. If you or anyone you know suffers from a perpetual bleeding asshole, please contact our hotline at 1-800-ASSHOLE. That's 1-800-ASSHOLE. 1-800-ASSHOLE. We are here for you and your bleeding asshole.
Okay.
That's a real cause right there. We have to support.
How many times have you seen a fucking new thing on TV
All the
where
time.
it's like, this is going to cure my nerve damage?
Did you get that migraine medication? You're dying.
Yeah.
Call this number.
But
Lawyers are
anal
here to help.
bleeding is most likely one of the first 3 things they list as one of the side effects.
Yeah, leaky asshole.
What the fuck?
What's this one?
Oh, well, we also we talked a little bit about how shitty apparently that movie Cats is.
Yeah.
But I printed out some of the reviews of Cats.
Okay, let's
so I
hear
want to
'em.
read those for you.
Read those
okay?
for us, Kev.
I'm going to read them in a very like effeminate voice because
It just makes it funnier. It just enhances the joke immeasurably.
It does.
Hello.
But I'll read like Snagglepuss, okay?
What are you talking about?
Heavens to Murgatroyds!
Please read it like that the whole
Okay.
time. Because he's a cat, right? He's a panther.
Yeah.
There you go.
Who let the cat out of the closet?
It's apropos.
Yeah. The bobbing butts have their obvious appeal. But the director's mistake is that he's tried to class up the joint. What a blunder.
I just love the word blunder.
In feline terms, this is a movie without epic hairballs, without rear end sniffing, without a deep, wounding scratch. This is professional critics writing reviews.
What a
about
blunder.
Cats. To assess cats as good or bad feels like the entirely wrong axis on which to see it. It is, with all affection, a monstrosity. Professional people get paid to write this.
I love that stuff. It is. Wait, read that line one more time, please. Like,
to assess cats as good or bad feels like the entirely wrong axis on which to see it. It is, with affection, a monstrosity. Wait.
oh god.
I am hard pressed at the moment to think of many worse movies. I say this with zero hyperbole and the smallest kernel of admiration. For the most part, Cats is both a horror and an endurance test. A dispatch from some neon-drenched netherworld where the ghastly is inextricable from the tedious. Every so often it does pause, pause to rise to the level of a self-aware hoot.
Anybody who uses the word hyperbole is a sociopath. Hyperbole.
Here's one. The plot, essentially, could be written on a slip of blotter acid. A scampering throng of spandexy, alley-stalking strays assemble in the late-night streets of London for a sort of tomcat talent show, deciding which among them they will ritually murder. Sorry, send to the Heaviside Layer by dawn. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, that's a reference that's far beyond my pay grade.
There are moments in Cats I would gladly pay to unsee. Including the baby mice with faces of young girls and the tiny chorus line of cockroach rockettes. Again, with human faces that Jenny Eddie Dots gleefully swallows with a crunch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyone who takes small children to this movie is setting them up for some winged monkey levels of night terrors.
Winged monkey levels of night terrors. These people are so fucking full of themselves, narcissistic monsters.
The only realistic way to fix Cats would be to spay it.
That's just too, all right. That's like too many like punny cat.
All right, two
like,
more.
All
They're
right,
quick.
please. Like,
Forget worst movie of the year. Cats is the biggest disaster of the decade, and possibly thus far in the millennium. It's Battlefield Earth with whiskers.
Battlefield Earth with whiskers.
And then finally,
That's awesome.
Congratulations to dogs.
yeah. The Ricky Gervais said something about like it's the worst thing since dogs or something.
Yeah,
like
17% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty nice. Dave Chappelle had 0 for a month, and fucking Cats got up to 17.
Well, I'll say one thing. See, I don't like the critics at all. Like, you sent me that link, and I'm not sure who read it, and maybe I'll post it on Facebook about
But why?
the fucking guy who wrote about the Joker movie, like about how it's a piece of shit, and it's like everyone.
No,
oh, it's a girl. Or
No,
a guy.
Joker is a dumb movie. That's the title of the article on Slate magazine.
Yeah. So
online,
I'll post the article on Facebook on the Big Bucket page. Yeah, I don't like. I could have just done. I don't like trailers because either a trailer destroys a good movie, like butchers it, doesn't really tell me what's even like a little. It doesn't interest me at all, or it could make a bad movie seem cool. But in the case of Cats, like the trailer alone is all I need. I don't ever want to watch this movie. I mean, obviously, for my own particular taste, I'm not a huge fan of like musicals. But why? Like, who is going like? When are they going to make that movie? When are they going to make live action Cats?
But I told you before, what baffles me is that they convinced so many A-list actors to be in this movie.
It's a whole bunch of people.
It's like a who's who of like Britain's finest actors.
Who's who?
It's fucking. I told you, it's like Dame Judi Dench, Ian McKellen. I'm sorry, Sir Ian McKellen, Idris Elba. It's like ridiculous. Like all these guys that are like were nominated for an Oscar like the last 2 years are like, let's do Cats now.
Yeah, I guess like you assume because you
Money
see the
talks,
you
man.
see the cast, but like they wrote. I mean, hey Matt, how are we doing on time here? Before we even like move on to anything else, like let's see what we're doing here. What are we up to? Oh boy, we're at 48 minutes, kids. It's the longest episode yet. I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I enjoy talking about these drunk stories, and we have like a zillion more. Just trying to figure out, like, again, like which ones are even funny and which ones aren't. Like, I mean, they're all fucking hilarious to me. Like, we could definitely do an episode on like bad ex-girlfriend stories too. We could do that.
Real quick, last thing I want to add. That one time, remember I talked about I fell last week and I bled all over the jukebox and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I also want to say that our friend Pete, he went to 7-Eleven after that and got a 22 of Heineken in a paper bag. And then I told him that, Pete, why'd you buy a Heineken? I have a whole 12-pack in my fridge. And he went, "Ugh!" and threw it against the fence and destroyed it. And it was like, okay, I guess he doesn't want that anymore.
He was eating.
That was the nightcap.
He was eating hard-boiled eggs.
Yes.
That all happened. Listen, thanks you guys for watching episode 11. Definitely check us out on the Big Bucket of Chicken on Facebook, the Big Bucket of Chicken podcast on Instagram. We're really trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We just want to be able to get more people to watch the show, share the show. I mean, we're getting a lot of good feedback. We actually appreciate all you guys who watch it and talk about it. It came up actually a lot last night at the open mic. People are definitely watching
Really?
the episode. Yeah, I mean, half the people are just kind of like, "Hey, how's your podcast?" Like, I see you do a podcast, but I don't give a shit about it.
Okay.
There's a million. But the other half of the people are like, "Hey, I like it. It's funny. You guys are fucking funny," like that kind of thing.
So I sent it to people. I send the link on YouTube to people, and I did get one person to reply back, unsubscribe.
A person that like a friend of yours.
Said unsubscribe.
That's awesome.
So
Maybe we'll call the episode Unsubscribe. Thank you guys for watching Big Bucket Chicken episode 11. Leave us a comment. Again, Blurred and Seen magazine is going to be in the description of the YouTube page. I'm going to put it all in there. Buy the book.
I'm not in it, so buy it for him.
Yeah,
I guess.
fuck Kevin. He's not in the book.
I get nothing for this.
We really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, like, all that fun stuff. Peace. We're out of here.
Cheers.
Booyah.